3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach screaming bond these hoes. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Mono. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a rain. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let him save you in the end like a Seminole. Be help me, shout it, let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mana. Good evening, good afternoon, and good night, depending on where you are. Shout out to my people on IG Live. What's up, Leah? Thank you all for joining me this evening. I realize you could be anywhere on this worldwide internet. I'm trying to get the microphone to work in here. I realize you could be anywhere on this worldwide internet, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. Angelina, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you. So today we have a few things to discuss. I don't know if y'all saw the main topic, but we're going to talk about pimping your kids for attention. Yes, It's about, I don't know how many of you guys have seen the video of the Black Mommy and Me pole dancing class. But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about different forms of this same behavior. Can we talk about this hair? Yes, we can, girl. QB hair designs, color. I mean, the curls, you know, these are from the Most High, but the color, QB hair designs right here. And she's in Austell on Floyd Road, as a matter of fact. So if you're in the area, hook her up. She does good on everything. Like, she just straightened my hair last week, and everything's just my hair. My hair's going through changes. It doesn't want to cooperate. So we back with the curls. But all praise to the Most High. All right. So before we get to our main topic, just a couple little side stories. I think that's what I'm gonna call them, side stories, right? Have y'all seen the report or whatever, that Angela Bassett received an honorary Oscar? And I don't know how many of y'all remember, but a few years ago, we went through the whole Oscars so white situation, where Black actors, actresses, producers were claiming that they were not getting their fair share at an Oscar, that Oscars were ever hardly awarded to Black people. Okay. So this was a whole big thing. Miss Bassett, Auntie Bassett, Auntie Angela, whatever you want to call her, has been nominated for 2 Oscars, and she did not win both times. Okay. The last time she was nominated was for her role in Wakanda, I believe, right? Not Wakanda. Yeah, Wakanda. Black Panther. I'm sorry. Black Panther. Her role in that was her last nomination. She didn't win the Oscar. Okay. So now they've come and given her an honorary Oscar. And on the surface, right, you might be like, oh, look at that. They finally, honored her. But the fact of the matter is, it's not an Oscar. It's like when they give celebrities these honorary PhDs and these honorary degrees. If for whatever reason they were to find themselves on hard times, they cannot take that degree and apply for a job where a degree is the qualification, because it's not a real degree. It's honorary. To me, right? For you to nominate me for this award, the same award twice, right? And not that I lose and it's like, oh, maybe I just didn't try harder. No, I'm a certified legend. Like, I'm a classic in this industry. Like, my resume cannot be questioned. So for you to nominate me twice and then not decide that I deserve the award twice, and then turn around and decide you want to give me an honorary one, I can't figure out. I wouldn't have took it. I wouldn't have took it. I wouldn't have took it. Okay. But the other thing that makes it weird is her, when she went on stage to accept this award, she kissed Regina King full on in the lips. And I don't care what y'all try to say about, oh, it was she's like, oh, that, she looks at her like a big sister. She looks at her like a mother figure. I don't kiss my mama in the lips. I have 3 daughters. They don't kiss each other in the lips. I've never seen two adult people that were not involved in a romantic relationship kiss each other on the lips. I'm sorry. And don't hit me with that what we do in Europe stuff, because we are not in Europe. Angela isn't from Europe, and neither is Regina. So it's this not, oh, it's a cultural thing. Stop it. Stop the cap. Do y'all remember when Britney Spears, who was it? Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Madonna was on the MTV Awards. And Madonna kissed the both of them. And people were contemplating the symbolism behind that. Like, oh, maybe she's passing on the torch, to the younger generation. There's supposed to be this whole secret symbolism behind it. So what y'all not about to do is sit up here and tell me that, oh, these 2 grown women kissed on the lips. It to me, it's a whole humiliation ritual. It's humiliating. You invited me to your party twice. Okay. No, you invited me. All right, but didn't let me in. Okay, I had to sit outside. And then when you do invite me, I gotta perform some stunt in the process of partaking in this fake invitation. I want better for us. I want better for us, and I want us to want better for ourselves. And I think we need to talk about like how we just be accepting anything from people. It's really horrible. Kick the chef, shalom and shalom. That's my little brother right there. How are the babies? How is Cheyenne? How is Cheyenne's hair? I have a lot of questions. All right, so let me share this with y'all, and then we're gonna talk about it. Actually, it kind of goes into my main topic. I have my order written down of the way I want to do things, but now that I'm here, it's like, wait a minute, maybe I want to do something different. Okay. All right. I kind of feel like this is going to no. This is something totally different. Okay, this is not part of our main topic. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all this video, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it. And prepare yourself. It can be a little triggering, so let's start with that, y'all. Hold on. Okay. I just have to find the right tab. So, okay. I don't know where my tab is that had the article on it. But the story that I was about to tell you guys is about a teacher. It's about a teacher. She had blew up on hold on. Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay. I'm gonna share it with you so you guys can watch the video too, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, wait, it was this one. Okay.
I'm unreachable. I'm number one in your top 10.
Audrina Williams and her cheer team became an overnight hit.
You in my business. Don't do that.
But her alleged business is out there now after Williams was accused of having multiple sexual encounters with a student. The Shade Room has the warrant, and we're learning more about the student involved, where these alleged sex crimes took place, and what you can do to protect your kids from possible abuse.
It is our job to keep them safe.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. Audrina Williams calls herself a teacher influencer, and her videos do pretty well, especially on TikTok. It was this video that first took off. Over 2.3 million people watching her music video, welcoming students to school after COVID-19 here at Monroe Comprehensive High School in Albany, Georgia. But now she no longer works there. In this criminal warrant, it accuses her of engaging in sexual explicit conduct with another student. It goes on to name that student and says that these alleged sex crimes happened at a gas station and a bowling alley. This is the last video Audrina Williams posted on TikTok. Christmas Day, cooking breakfast, surrounded by her family. The next day, she was arrested on 2 counts of sexual assault by a teacher. In this affidavit, investigators with the Dougherty County Sheriff's Office said, quote, between November 1st through November 30th, 2023, Williams engaged in sexually explicit conduct with another person who she knows is a student enrolled at the school of which she's an employee. The Shade Room is not naming the student involved, but it says that he's in 12th grade and the incident occurred here at the Albany Strikers bowling alley. Then, on December 2nd, 2023, Williams allegedly engaged with the student again, here at Junebug's Grocery, a gas station and convenience store.
I know that we will continue to be teachers It's still making our raps to boost more.
Okay, so thank y'all for the fair use. Yes, I forgot. I'm sorry, that was not my content, but fair use. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. All right, so the report goes on to say that she was arrested the day after Christmas, but she was released the same day. One of her family members posted bond. Just in case you're on the IG and you did not hear the video, there's a teacher who is TikTok famous. She has been arrested for sexual misconduct with a student, a 12th grader. Okay. And so let me just say this first of all. I'm not under the impression that teachers trying to sleep with students is anything new. Personally, I personally can attest that I remember being in summer school at Orange High School in New Jersey, okay? And the teachers was trying to sleep with me. So, no, I'm not saying this is anything new. I guess I'm amazed at how these people keep doing the same thing over and over again. They keep showing a blatant disregard for other people's children. And some people have brought up the case, well, a lot of these teachers are still in their 20s and, these 12th graders are 18. I don't care. I don't care. When you took that job to be an educator, you took a oath to hold yourself in a position of authority and all the responsibility that comes with it. Okay, so then there's no excuse. It's just like when the police abuse their authority. Okay, and even if you want to say, oh, he was 18, here's the thing, right? It's just like during the whole Me Too movement when you had all these actresses saying that all these executives were coercing them sexually. Once you're in a position of power over a person, you can no longer differentiate between consensual and coerced. That is why you are told to refrain from certain relationships when two people are in certain positions, okay? So that kills that whole argument right there. Now, as far as this being a child, let me just say this is why I will continue to homeschool my children because she wouldn't have had a chance to get arrested had that been one of my sons. I just want. Yes, I have yes. So my family's from the Oranges, Orange, East Orange, South Orange, all that. Let me find out. Okay, we might be related, Angelina. That would be good. I mean, we got some stories, child, because East Orange ain't nothing to East Orange ain't nothing to play with. Okay, so that was that story. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. I didn't even introduce myself. You know what? And this is why I write stuff down because sometimes I'll be forgetting like the simplest things. So if you're new here, please allow me to introduce myself. I am at Miss Mono's World on all of your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all those good places. Yes, I'm on Threads, but I'm not making a transition to Threads. It's not flowing with me. Like it's like, dang, another social media network that I got to keep up with. Never mind, I'm good. And shout out to my husband, the love of my life partner, my best friend, all that good stuff. The man who I could not do any of this without. Monologue with Dad, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not already, head over to the YouTube, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify to stream new and old stuff. Speaking of new and old stuff, shout out to my audience on the Saya TV because that, along with YouTube, is where you can see my new and old stuff. I'm live there every Thursday at 8 o'clock, and there are also past episodes on the Nasaya TV app. So, you can download the Nasaya TV app on all of your smart TVs, your Roku's, your Apple TVs, and all the other smart TVs, your Samsungs. I can't keep up with them all. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and also, if you like anything, if you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, or anything I say just really touches you, moves you, please head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. Yes, sir. $ the House of Mono. Okay, hold on, you guys. 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a little commercial break.
One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you
Oh, wait a second. Thank you so much for your patience. There we go. Thank you, Leah. Yeah, tripping. Okay, where was I? Okay, I was about to go into our main topic. Yes, I was. So hold on a second. Let me push my buttons and stuff. Sorry, we were just trying to get everything clear up for y'all. Okay, so let's go into our main topic. Keeping our kids for attention. And now, there's a lot of this. There are a lot of stories about this coming out right now. I don't know if you all are familiar with the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I have a feeling that you may be. This is a girl who was recently released from prison after 8 years for her part in the murder of her mother. Yes, that's right. You heard me. She only served 8 years for conspiring to murder her mother. And how did she get away with this? Her mother suffered from a disease. The disease was it was once called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, okay? But they have changed it to fictitious disease on another person. That is what they refer to it now as. Isn't that a weird name? Fictitious disease on another person? Well, that is literally what a person with this diagnosis does. In order to get attention, they will keep claiming that their child or a person in their care is sick. They will keep taking this person to well, let's get specific. Okay. So in this case, her mother's name was Dee Dee. Her mother, her mother's parents, her mother's father and stepmother already had problems with her before she even had a child. There was a time when she lived with her father and her stepmother after her parents divorced, and they believed that she was poisoning her stepmother with Roundup. Oddly enough, once the stepmother was hospitalized and all the stuff was going on, but oddly enough, once Dee Dee left, the stepmother's health returned to normal. So, okay, they put her out. They washed their hands of her. She winds up meeting her ex-husband and getting pregnant. They have their daughter. The ex-husband cannot deal with her behavior, not to mention that he was substantially younger than her. Okay. And eventually he realized this is not what I want to do with my life anymore. He left. Okay. And from what I was reading, he was still there for his daughter as long as Dee Dee would let him be. Right. So they end up in New Orleans. When her and the daughter are in New Orleans, she starts taking her to the doctor saying that she has muscular dystrophy, and just making up all these other symptoms. And the doctors in New Orleans are telling her, no, there's nothing wrong with your child, But what people with this disease will do is they will just keep going from doctor to doctor to doctor until they find someone to agree with them. Upon further reading, you find out that her mother was giving her anti-seizure medications, okay? And if you know anything about anti-seizure medications, they are very, very strong sedatives. Um, her mother would, what was she was doing something to her salivary glands. I want to say she was injecting her salivary glands with lidocaine to numb her mouth so that she would drool in front of the doctor so that they would believe something was wrong with her, right? So what the doctors ended up doing was giving her medicine to stop the drooling, because to them this child can't stop her drooling. So if you know anything about how your mouth works, your saliva is constantly cleaning your teeth. That's why you're supposed to keep drinking water. So you keep producing enough saliva. Like, this all is supposed to work together. But with a person who's not producing any saliva at all, now your teeth are going to start to decay and fall out. So right now, currently, this girl is walking around with like a full bridge in the front because of what her mother did to her. Then you find out that she had her on oxygen tanks and feeding tubes. Okay. And if you've ever seen the opening that is needed for a person to be fed with a tube, you will understand how cruel this is to do to a person that doesn't need it. Okay. Usually, when you're talking about a person with a feeding tube, they are unable in any way to feed themselves and so would be incapacitated for a while. Usually, I mean, there are some people who are living with the feeding tube, but they need, like, nobody does this to themselves. It's a constant open wound that you constantly have to keep cleaning. And I would imagine it's painful. Okay. So she's doing this to this girl, and she was feeding her Pediasure, just a diet of Pediasure up until her 20s, because she was constantly lying about her age. The girl was like 18, and the mother had convinced her that she was only 14. She even went so far as to have fake birth certificates forged to say that the girl was younger. And then she would tell people that the girl was mentally underdeveloped, incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? But what happened was, here's where it's really jacked up. Like, oh wow, she really took it to the next level. After Katrina, they were sent to a special shelter for people with special needs. And because she was able to convince those people that her daughter was in such dire straits, they were actually airlifted out of New Orleans and sent to, I think it was Missouri, to a hospital for her to get more help. And when you think that really, like, took my breath, because the disaster that was Katrina, the many people who went without any rescue, any resources, you mean to tell me that because you're so sick and hungry for attention, you're going to steal life-saving resources from other people? Okay, so this lady is sick, right? So the daughter, Gypsy, she starts attending these science fiction conventions like Comic-Con and stuff, but it's for sci-fi. And there she met a man, right? And tried to escape from her mother. She had this man arranged to meet her at a hotel. But her mother caught her, and the way she was able to take her back is because she gave the police the fake birth certificate. Even though this girl is 18, she gave them fake birth certificate saying she's only 14. So of course the police send her back home with her mom, and they're arresting this man. Well, when Didi gets Gypsy home, she beats her and ties her to the bed. For 2 weeks, she was tied to the bed. Okay. And now this is on top of already being forced to get around in a wheelchair. Like, she's forbidden from walking on her own. She's forbidden from eating solid food. She's beat on. Like, she talks about how when they would go to the doctor's office, her mother would always hold her hand. And if she said the slightest thing to make these people think that she wasn't as sick as her mom was trying to say she would like squeeze her hand really tight and like hit her when the doctors walked out the room. And so, I'm not presenting this to excuse her what she did to her mother. There's no excuse for that. We get that. And the other really messed up part of this is that when it came time to conspire for her mother's murder, she met a guy online. So she had access to the internet. She would sneak and use a laptop. She would sneak and get on her phone because she's not slow. Like, she's not special needs like her mom is trying to say she is. She's a regular 18-year-old. So she's gonna figure out how to do what she want. Yeah, there's a show on Netflix, and it's a couple of movies about this. So she's gonna figure out how to do what she want to do. So she talking to boys or whatever. So she starts talking to this one guy, and he has a history of psychotic behavior, and he's on the autism spectrum, right? And so her and the guy start talking, and from what I read, they started talking. She starts explaining to the boy all these awful things the mom is doing to her. And, the only way I can get out is if she's gone or whatever. So they plan for him to sneak in the house. They sneak in her house, wait for her mom to go to sleep. Once the mom is asleep, Gypsy goes and hides in the bathroom or whatever, so she doesn't have to hear what's going on. But this boy goes and proceeds to stab her mother 17 times in her bed while she sleeps. Okay. And it was later revealed that he wanted to sexually assault the mother. From what I read, it seems like that's how she got him to agree to the murder. Like, okay, you can grape my mom, but then you have to unalive her after. Okay. And so, from my understanding, this is why his sentence was a life sentence, and then he got another 25 years. Because of his past behavior, because of the fact that it wasn't him. He wasn't defending himself. He was just listening to what this girl was saying, and then he so horrendously stabbed her mom like that. Okay? And then also she cooperated. Of course she did. She cooperated and told them about the things that, he wanted to do to her mom. Okay? So she went to jail or whatever. She's out of jail now. Right? But I bring this up because I know this may seem like a severe case, right? But when you really think about things like this, you may know someone who's guilty of this, but maybe not to this extreme level, right? Like, maybe somebody always complaining about their kids, or always complaining about their baby daddy, always complaining about something, anything, looking for attention. Oh, these kids, they getting on my nerves. Oh, this, oh, that. Now, if you know someone who's putting diseases on their kid, it is up to you to speak up about that, okay? Because in the article, it was talking about how doctors would do the test and they would find out everything was normal about her. And there's this one doctor who tracked down her doctors from New Orleans from before Katrina. And they were all saying the same thing, like, no, nothing's wrong with this girl. All her tests are coming back normal, blah, 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 blah. But they warned the doctor about trying to go after them because they were like, well, everybody loves them. They're going to turn around and attack you and say that you're victimizing them. So it's best that you just don't say anything. And so she was allowed to get away with this for 18 years, for like all of this girl's life. Okay, but this is an extreme example of pimping your kids for attention. That's literally what it is. No, they might not be swinging on a pole and they might not be walking the blade, but you are pimping them to medicine. This girl has so many unnecessary surgeries, and like just reading about it and just imagining the pain. Like no surgery is painless. Your skin is being cut into. She had so many ear tubes placed in for alleged ear infections. It I can't imagine what that must be like. Okay, but the mother is just so sick. So sick to the point that she's willing to whatever happens to my child happens. Because it's not like it's a riskless activity. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna send them over here and nothing's gonna happen. No, like every time you put a person under anesthesia, you're literally putting their life right there in the balance. But she had no regard for this. All she was concerned about, when you read the articles, they come to the conclusion that she did this, and this is a quote, to live life the way she wanted to. And I think what they mean by that is because they receive so much money from charities, right? Habitat for Humanity built them a house. They did the Make-A-Wish thing, the Disney thing, like every charity, like it was a big deal. The town that they lived in, they started a GoFundMe and kept money in it for them. So they scammed, not they, the mother scammed so many people and basically used her child's body because we're gonna say she just that's what we're gonna say. I ain't gonna call her lazy. I ain't gonna say she's a scammer. We're just gonna say she's a scammer. Okay. And so craziness. So I don't know how many of y'all have in the same vein, because like I told y'all, this is a story that's coming up a lot. There's a pair of moms that were on TikTok. What was the name of the channel? I forgot the name of their channel. But I'm sure they're gonna have a Lifetime special coming out soon. I'm pretty sure they are. Okay, because come to find out, one of the mothers was starving her children, was beating her children. She was making one of her kids sleep on the floor. Like she wouldn't even give him a bed. She made him sleep on the floor for punishment. And she's not hiding any of this. She's online. She's on YouTube talking about this in her parenting classes because she's considered a parenting expert. And so what eventually happened is viewers started an online petition. CPS started looking into it, but of course they couldn't find anything, so the case was dismissed. But later on, one of the children that she had locked up in a room and wasn't feeding managed to escape and get to a neighbor's. The neighbor called the police and they swatted the house and found kids locked in closets, kids not eating. Just, it was a horrible situation, right? But again, we see mothers putting their children up for, I'm just going to call it fodder, be it money, be it clout, be it fame. They're putting their children up for this. Yeah, it's Kick the Chef. It's crazy. Like and then to do it in front of other people. You know what I'm saying? This is what always gets me, like, especially about like certain scammers and stuff. You do it so brazenly in front of others. And certain people just seem to have a mental deficit when it comes to empathy. Certain people seem to have a mental deficit when it comes to empathy, even for their own children. Okay, even for their own children. And so as for those others of us, it's hard. It's hard to sit here and watch, and then I'm wondering, like, what does it take for somebody to be a parenting expert? Like, what? what qualifications, or do you just wake up one day and put yourself on YouTube and declare you're a parenting expert? I don't know. But so I want to get to the last, I'm going to talk about the last example of this and then go where the Most High leads. I hope that, I'm pretty sure that you all have seen the video of the Mommy and Me pole dancing classes. Please tell me y'all have. But maybe you haven't, so let me see if I can find it for you. I didn't want to show it because I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to give this video another freaking view, but I don't want to give it another view, but if you haven't seen it, then you may not. No. Okay, wait a minute. All right. It's not showing up here. Hold on, y'all. I may have to just show y'all the video that I made about it because I don't think I can find the original. Let's see. Okay. Actually, yes. Haha. Here it is right here. But okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen, y'all, so y'all can see it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. And there's no audio because when I had I screen recorded it to make my commentary, so there's no audio. But as you can see, these are small children with their mothers. There's a boy right there twirling around a pole with their mom. There's someone's son, someone's whole son. Okay, and they are dressed in short shorts and halter tops. I mean, look at, why else are you why are you doing that? How are you comfortable doing that with your child? Why are you letting your child? Oh, help, Lord. Help these people. Okay, and then they even get a little certificate at the end. Ooh. Okay. It's beyond sick. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, because if you read the comments on the video, it was sickening, disheartening, and hurtful how many Black women were seconding this visual whatever. Okay. It's sickening. They were actually defending it, saying, oh, y'all are sexualizing the children. You're making it sexual. Ma'am, sis, cousin, where have you ever seen a poll like that? Where do you see these kind of polls at? No, seriously. Because what I'm tired of people doing is I'm tired of people taking a thing and trying to remove it from its original purpose. Okay. The only reason for a poll like that is if you are a stripper or a firefighter, and I did not see not one piece of fire equipment in that facility. Okay, let's take it a step further. Even if y'all are trying to say, oh, it's not supposed to be sexual, why are the kids dressed like that then? Why do you have little girls walking around in halter tops and little booty shorts if it's not a sexual activity? You see, y'all want to take two-piece bikinis and feel like because you put it on a child, it no longer means what it means. The two-piece is still for what it's for. It's still to show the body of the person that is wearing what little pieces there are. So when you put it on a child, your mission is still to show the body of the person that is wearing the little pieces that they are. I don't understand when we got to be so selfish, so narcissistic that we will directly put our children in the line of the wolves. We don't even make them come and look for our kids anymore. We post them right on TikTok, Instagram, and everything else with our freaking location, with the school they go to, what time they get picked up from school. I'm gonna show you what car I'm picking up in. Here you go. Come have my child. And I'm not talking about us who have regular footage of our children. I'm talking about you, Mams's cousin, having your child in a whole two-piece swinging on a stripper pole. And I'm sorry, but like, there's no calm way to discuss this. Okay. As someone who has been sexually victimized, traumatized throughout our life, it's extra disgusting to me that you all would put your daughters and your sons in this situation. Do you not understand what kind of people sit around and look at this kind of stuff? It's not cute. And the fact that you think it's cute makes me believe that there's something wrong with you. And I never want any of you people who think that this is okay around me or my children. You need help. You are a pedophile. I'm so sick and tired of y'all trying to toe the line to see just how close you can get to the fire with your freaking kids. It's not just you. Okay. You want to go out here and dance on a pole and just throw the Most High and his laws and you want to throw your morality and all that to the wind, then by all means go ahead with your grown rusty dusty behind. But what I can't deal with is you taking your children with you to the fire. These kids don't know any better. So they keep guess what? If I'm a little girl, if I'm a little girl, hear me. If I'm a little girl, my dad already left because I know ain't no daddies in them homes. Can't be. Cannot be a father in them homes. So I'm a little girl or even a little boy because y'all seen them sons up there and I don't pretend to know how the mind of a male works, but it's still a child, okay? My father already left. And the only way I get to spend time with my mother is if I'm naked on a pole. What kind of future are you setting these children up for? How do you not understand that children relate things with comfort? It's just like us now. If you go on Facebook and start a conversation about your favorite comfort shows, people are going to talk about the shows that they used to watch when they were little. One of my favorite comfort shows is The Simpsons. Why? I remember watching The Simpsons with my Aunt Martha, and it was always a good time. Another one of my comfort shows is The Golden Girls. Why? I remember watching The Golden Girls with my grandma. Okay, so kids correlate these things to use as crutches when they get older. But what the hell are you doing giving your child dancing on a pole with mommy as the memory that you want of them? That's what you want your kids to sit around and talk about with your grandkids? Yeah, me and your grandma used to be busting it open on a pole when I was 5 and 10 and 12 years old. I can't deal with it. And it's freaking disgusting. Straight demons. King Connection on the Shalom. Don't talk about ain't you seen a pole like that at a playground? No. No. You nasty. No. And I know good and well y'all not trying to talk about a tetherball pole. Because I ain't never seen nobody. Who's flipping up and down a tetherball pole? Who's doing that? Y'all want to talk about it's good exercise. It's a playground full of monkey bars right there. And guess what, Mom? You can hop your behind on them monkey bars too. I do it when I take my kids to the playground. I get right on the monkey bars and run around the playground with them too. Stop it. Me and my kids do Pilates. Okay? My son see me doing Pilates. Oh, Mom, I'm going to come work out with you. Okay? Why do y'all default to the most wicked and evil tool available? It's like I'm going to bypass all these other wonderful, life-affirming, brain-building, physically fit activity. I'm going to bypass all this other crap and lead you straight to the gates of hell. That is literally what you are doing. You may as well just take your child and lay him right there at the devil's feet. And you think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. You guys don't think past your nose. You can't see past your feet to understand how starting on a road can end up somewhere you had no intention. I need some of y'all. It's like some of y'all lived in this romanticized version of life, and you feel like, oh, only what you see on TV or the movies is real or something. I can't think of any other excuse for putting your child on a pole. I can't think of that. And in the year of 2024, when you have these little devices, the same device that you use to record to show us your baby swinging on a pole half naked, that same device, you could use that same device to really figure out, like, what is this pole all about? Because everything comes from somewhere. But you won't do that. The pedophiles don't even need to be strategic anymore. They don't. All they got to do is come hook up with one of them mamas. That's all I got to do. Find one of them mamas, go spit a little game, get her to let him come through with a bottle like she gonna do. Come through with a bottle in a bag when the baby sleep like she gonna do. Right, and you know, we be so quick to talk about, well, how you get yourself in that same situation, the same stupid stuff you doing right now. And here's what I don't get, right? Here's the kicker. If the whole behavior didn't work for you, okay, and because I don't care what none of y'all say, I don't need no man. I don't know. The only reason you say you need a man is because you don't want to submit and humble yourself and do what it takes to keep a man. That's the only reason y'all walk around saying you don't need a man. Because if that's, then where did the baby come from? Where did the baby come from? Please, I'm tired of Black women getting together in this group huddle pack mentality, thinking that, oh, we're gonna fool the whole world and make them think that it's just the men. It's not our fault. We're the poor victims of all their behavior. You're not gonna call yourself a victim when you're out here pimping your child for attention. I don't need a man. I don't know. No, the fact of the matter is that that man didn't want to stay with you for whatever reason, and now you're a single mother. I don't care what y'all say. Nobody lays down and wants to be a single mother. No woman, when she finds out she's pregnant, thinks, oh, I'd love to do all this by myself. No woman thinks that. They may have to accept it. They may have to come to terms with it, and they may in the process of that develop a hardened heart and a hardened mentality. Okay, so then they can fool themselves into thinking, oh, I don't need a man. I can do bad by myself. Me and my child is going to do just fine. But the fact of the matter is, you're hurting, ma'am, sis cousin. You are hurting. No woman was ever meant to go through pregnancy alone. Let me tell you something. I've been pregnant single, and I've been pregnant happily married. I totally get why the Most High intended for two people to get married and have a stable family before pregnancy and childbirth occurs. It is night and day. It is a totally different experience having a good, solid man, a good, solid husband in your life. Okay. But because of whatever reason, and this is not about, oh, well, you can't bash me for my past. Stop thinking of everything as bashing and maybe start thinking of things as lessons that maybe I need to learn. I had a talk with a young lady the other day, and her complaint was everybody trying to control me. Everybody trying to control me. No, everybody's not trying to control you. We're just trying to tell you the things that you can't see yet. And ma'am, sis cousin, if you went out here and got yourself pregnant without a husband, then it is not beyond everyone else's conclusion that maybe there are some clues out here that you need some help seeing. And that's just being honest. And listen, call it what you want. I welcome judgment. So if you feel like I'm judging you, please let me assure you that I'm not telling you anything that I haven't been through. Okay, when the Bible talks about judging righteously, no, I learned my freaking lesson. Okay, that's why I'm a happily married mother of 5 now. I'm telling you what I've been through. I'm not sitting here and guessing that you felt lonely and angry. I'm telling you, I know exactly how you felt. You felt lonely and angry. I have a friend now who's found herself in this situation, and she's lonely and angry. You're not meant to handle these things on your own. And even though you try to deny that, the result of your emotional damage proves that what I'm saying is true. The result of your emotional damage shows in how you dress your children, how you present your children to the world. Y'all out here putting full on lace fronts and weaves and everything else in these kids' heads. And now I don't have a problem with moms who add weaves to braids. I feel like sometimes that's necessary, especially for them braids to stay in more than a week or two. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about y'all out here posting these pictures. Talk about what y'all think. Baby in a full lace front, makeup on, stomach out, and posed like she in a freaking Shein ad. And as much as y'all want to hold this and compare, see, because what I've seen is, oh, y'all just sexualizing black kids, and you'll hold up a picture of a white child next to it to say, see, you don't think the same about this child. But the fact is, yes, we do. Yes, we do. You have been programmed to feel like when you look at your child, it's in a more adult manner. Like you are the one adulting your child, if I can say, you know what I'm saying? You're putting on the effects of a grown woman. And the fact of the matter is, the purpose of the makeup does not change just because you put it on an underage individual. Have y'all seen toddlers in tiaras? Have y'all seen how they make them babies' faces up? They're not denying what they're doing with that makeup. They're trying to touch them up and make them look bitter. And they put on the red lip to draw. Come on. And I'm not going to say it's not along the same vein, because why are you dressing your child up, putting your young daughter on makeup, poofing up their hair, and parading them in front of grown-ups to be judged? What? Does that sound right to y'all? Think about that. The whole kid pageant circuit thing. Why is that a thing? Who thought that this was okay? Y'all complain about it being unfair for grown women. You'll have your strikes and your protests and your marches about how we don't want to be paraded around like sexual objects, but then you turn around and allow the same thing to happen to little kids. And it is not missed upon me that most of those moms in the whole toddlers and tiara circuit are either unattractive or former pageant wannabes who are living vicariously through their children, even if that means sexualizing them and putting them in front of pedophiles at an early age. They do. They do. And they talk about, y'all, no, man, look, booty shorts are booty shorts. When I put on booty shorts, my intention is to show my booty. So when you put booty shorts on a little girl, baby's still in diapers, and you got them walking around in a halter top with their stomach out. Why? That's gross. Let them be a kid. As much as y'all complain about how unfair black women are treated, I would think that you would work extra hard to shelter your children's childhood. And I'm going to tell you, that is a strong reason why I homeschool, because I know that when my black sons, to me, they are 5 and 8. And that is all they are, 5 and 8. But I know my boys are tall for their age. They're strong, strapping young Black men. When I send them out there in that world, they're not going to look at them the same way they do a 5 or 8-year-old little white boy. They're going to expect my child to have the comprehension of a freaking almost adult. They're going to hold them to impossible standards that a child should not have to deal with. And I understand some of y'all got to send y'all kids to school, but what about the extra stuff? What about all this other crap y'all out here doing? Mommy and me, and we dressed in our bathing suits. My daughter has no business in the same bathing suit I'm in, not a small child. My girls are 19, 22, and 18 right now. No, 20, 22, and 18 right now. We can wear the same bathing suit. Shedification, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. We can wear the same bathing suits. They grown. Why is a 15, 12, 5, 10-year-old? And then you get mad when somebody say something about it? Y'all have gotten away from common sense. You want to complain. The stupidest thing I've ever seen was, if my child can't walk around the house the way they want to, then you don't belong at my house. And it's stupid because, again, you're putting your child at risk. And hear what I'm saying. It's not even so much about the direct physical risk, okay? It's about them getting used to a certain gaze from men. And because this gaze has come from men who they are familiar with, who are supposed to love and protect them, when they see it from another man, the warning lights don't go off like they should. I'm not telling you anything that I have not experienced personally myself. When you have men in your family who attempt things on you, and then you run into these same behaviors as a teenager, it's confusing. It's confusing. And the way that some of y'all are going, y'all are putting these kids in danger before they're even teenagers. It's not about Uncle so-and-so being a pervert. It's not about this one wanting to hurt your child. It's about, let me train my daughter in the way that she should carry herself when she grows up so that she's not susceptible to these perverts out here. It's not until the assault occurs that everyone wants to talk about what they should have done and what they couldn't have done. I tell y'all all the time, y'all like to talk about, oh, I'll kick so-and-so ass if they do this, I'll do that. But it's too late after the child has already been traumatized. It's too freaking late. No amount of bang, bang, shoot them up is going to undo what has happened to that child. And the fact of the matter is, you won't come to your senses to take accountability for your part. So now all you're doing is sending your child down a dark, dismal hole with the only hope that the Most High chooses to spare them and send somebody in their life to show them the right way. Why are y'all okay with this? I'm not ignoring your comments. Thank you so much, Christina Jones. Thank you for joining me. Angelina, Sherification, thank you so much. Want to get big mad if you speak on it. The elderly don't tell children anything anymore. They don't. We don't teach our kids anything. We're too worried about being cool, worried about being accepted. We're too worried about what social media gonna think. The main priority is not training our children in the way they should go anymore. The main priority has switched to, what can my kids do for me? How can my kids make me feel better? Okay, and hear me. My daughter got mad when I told her she wants to go outside in shorts that look like panties. Been there with my daughter too. Still wrong. I don't. We're no longer interested in protecting our children. who was I listening to? I don't remember who I was listening to, but they were talking about women. And here's what I hate, right? I hate when men get up here and they say horrible things about black women, right? And as a black woman who's trying to live righteous, it's insulting. It's like, wait a minute, we all not like that. But then lo and behold, the algorithm will bring me a video showing me that man was absolutely right in what he said. So what I'm about to say was shown to be true. Okay. So the man said that no matter how much a mother loves her children, she's more loyal to her emotions. Her emotions are always going to win. And I know this to be true in my personal life because my mom was a single mom. She was struggling, working 2 or 3 jobs, okay? And she just did not have the energy to spend the time, do the things with me and my brother. I don't doubt that if she had been able to, she would have. But the situation was affecting her at the time that she couldn't. And so me and my brother went without, okay? When you look at these women who are putting their children on the pole, they are more loyal to their need for attention than they are to their love for their children. When you look at these women posting their daughters in lace fronts and makeup, they are more loyal to their need for attention, be it good or bad attention. I can assure you the conversation in their mind is they don't care what anyone thinks. We know the mantra, like we know the speech, we know the spiel, right? I don't care what anybody thinks. Don't nobody pay my bills, blah, 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 woo, 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 everything else. I don't know how you can not care what anybody thinks, but at the same time, always be concerned about what black men are thinking and angry at them and lashing out at them. The two don't go. The two don't go. And now let me just say this, okay? The Bible talks about us as as black women and how we would treat our children. Okay? So not pretending to be surprised. I'm not pretending to be like, "Oh, why are y'all like this?" No, I know very well why this is happening. Okay, but it's still, I feel like my job to cry loud and spare not and let y'all know that this wrong is 2 left shoes. And even, even if it's just a seed that's planted, that's fine if it's going to move you one step closer to making better choices for your children. A lot of y'all will sacrifice your child to your trauma, your pain, and your loneliness. And some of y'all don't sacrifice your child in front of the camera. Some of you sacrifice your child by throwing them in their room as soon as they come home from school. Go to your room, change your clothes, go to your room, go to bed. Because all you trying to do is get Mr. So-and-so to bring you some. So you trying to hurry up and get your child to sleep and make them sit in their room all day. So you can, or you close yourself in your room all day. And listen, I get it. It's hard being a single parent. It is. And you were, and this is why, we'll sit up here all day and say, oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. But we'll never admit that it was not meant to be that way. We will never admit, I did this wrong. I should have got me a good husband. I should have got me a stable husband. I should have made sure I had a stable father for my kids. A man that is coming to commit to you, to marry you, to be with you, to provide for you and for your children is not coming to be an option. He is not coming to be a choice. He's not coming to be on a laundry list of men. He's coming to solve needs, answer questions, and fix problems. And the fact of the matter is that we as women don't understand that sometimes that doesn't come in neat packages and pretty bows. Sometimes that means that, you know, every day is not going to be sunshine and roses. There are going to be some days when he's going to have to call you out on your crap, and you're going to have to take some accountability and deal with it. But we live in a world right now where all you have to do is get on social media and word your situation just enough to make it seem like he's victimizing you, and you will have continued support for your bad decisions. Continue verbal support, because they ain't writing you no checks. Ain't nobody starting you no GoFundMe or nothing like that. But they're quick to tell you to leave your man. I don't know if y'all watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? But it's about these like 3 or 4 black couples that live in Huntsville. They're in real estate, blah, blah, blah. There's this one couple, the Scotts, Letitia and Marcel Scott. And this, I think I can safely say, like, this is probably my husband's favorite reality TV couple, and mine too. The wife stays at home, and you know, the husband works. They run their businesses together. Like, yes, she's at home, but they own like a club, they own a real estate firm, like, and those businesses that they own, they work together. But her primary role is at the house. Pretty similar to how we live, right? But whenever they get among the peer group, it's always the other women throwing accusations at her husband. Oh, you know, he cheated on you. Oh, you know, he did this. Oh, you know, he got an outside baby. All this other stuff. It's always all these constant accusations about what this man is doing. Yet and still, there has not been any proof. Okay. Ain't no woman has called her house. Now, one of the other women on there, the star supposedly of the show, her man cheated on her, had a baby with somebody else, and they got divorced. And I'm telling you right now, that's the only reason she's the star of this show. If she wouldn't have got cheated on and got divorced, then she would just be a regular wife like the rest of them. But she got cheated on and she got divorced. So now she's like the matriarch of the show. She's, you know, supposed to be all about her or whatever. But when you look at this other couple, I appreciate something that the husband said when they were at the reunion this past weekend. They were coming for them again, talking about, well, your wife needs, you know, she wants to do this, she wants to do that. You need to let her go. You need to stop being so controlling. You need to blah, 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 blah. And he looked at his wife and he's like, how am I controlling you? And he's like, my wife want to be at home. Like, she tells me that she wants to be able to get up and cook dinner, cook breakfast for our kids and make them lunch and do things with the kids. And he was like, you know why the rest of y'all are angry? Y'all are angry because my wife has options. She has options. And immediately the divorce one was triggered. Don't say that I can't. Don't say that I'm not there for my kids just because I'm working and blah, 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 blah. I'm at every event. I'm at every this. I'm at every that. And the fact of the matter is that is impossible. That's impossible for you to be so booked and busy, for you to claim that you're, you know, always on the go, always working, always this, always that. There's no way that you're there for your kids at every hand. It's literally impossible, as you cannot be 2 places at one time. How many of y'all single mothers are single mothers by your own choice? And this is something, this is self-examination that needs to be done if you ever want to have a successful relationship. You really need to go back and look and think, like, could I have done better? What was my part in the demise of this relationship? Or what did I do to help this relationship? And also examine how you're treating the child that came from this relationship. Because let me tell you, as a child who constantly was told every time that I messed up, that I was just like my father, it was like literally like clockwork. I would do something wrong. You're just like your daddy. You're just like your daddy. You're just like your daddy. That messed with me. Okay. And so, but why you may not come out and tell your child, oh, you just like your daddy, you know, in your mind that certain things that this child does reminds you of this man who you have whatever feelings towards. I'm asking you to pray and to make sure that you are not just subconsciously taking things out on your child because you're frustrated, because they remind you of the other parent, because the other parent made you mad and now you're struggling or whatever. This is another way that we sacrifice our children to our pain and our trauma. We just treat them bad, like they don't exist. We treat them less than human. I've come to the realization that I was in my childhood, I was made to feel bad compared to other people around me, and that made me feel like they were better than me. Like, if I was given a compliment, like, "Oh, that's so nice." "Oh, it ain't all that. She ain't all that." Or somebody would tell me, "Oh my gosh, you're so pretty." "No, she ain't all that. She all right. It's mostly me." You know what I'm saying? Stuff like this. And so I would catch myself mimicking these same behaviors with my kids. Or even when I look back, I've treated other people this way. Because to me, it was like the one that I treat better, this is the one I love. This is my favorite. And who are you? Just get away from me. And so even now, I'm gonna be honest with you, even now that my daughters are grown and they're making different decisions, I come from a place of, if you don't make the decision I want you to make, then I'm disgusted with you and I want nothing to do with you. If you're not living your life the way I want you to live, then go over there. And I have to very consciously not do that to my daughters. It's easier now. Like I really don't, whatever. They do what they do. But there and I can admit to y'all, there was a time when I had to fight that thought process. I had to fight that thought process of, well, then just go on about your business. No, that's not how you treat people. What I'm not going to do is keep feeding my children to these same cycles of generational trauma, because what you must realize is that your mother learned it from somewhere. Your father learned it from somewhere. That parent that just seems to give you a hard time, that parent that no matter how much you do, you're never good enough for them. They learned that behavior from somewhere. Okay. And so even though you have now learned that behavior too, we're in a generation where we can't use ignorance as an excuse anymore. There's too many resources readily available. And I mean, you don't even have to go looking. You can literally scroll TikTok and you can find people giving their testimonies, and you can listen and realize, like, oh man, this sounds like me. It doesn't take a lot. Like, you don't have to pay $200 a month to talk to a therapist sometimes. No, sometimes you do. But for a lot of this stuff that y'all be doing, it don't take all that. If you would just stop and listen to the people around you and let them express how they really feel to you without fear of repercussion, that would do wonders for your relationships. But we've come from a people where Big Mama is right just because Big Mama is right. She's the authority. Nobody's going to question her. So we just going to let her be right because we love her and we don't want her to be uncomfortable. So we just going to let her keep doing what we're doing. But this generation now, like my kids' age group, no, Big Mama, no, we're not doing that. We love you, but no, that's not right. We're not doing that. Not even my kids, like me, my age. We're not going along with that, Grandma. No, I don't care. No, we're not doing that. No. So I'm sorry, but there's no excuse for you not to be a better parent. It's not. It's not. And I know, like, it takes a big girl to put them big girl panties on and realize, okay, I got myself in this situation. Now I need to see what I can do to live this the best way that I can. Because you can't undo a child. You can't undo hurt. You can't undo heartbreak. I don't care how many times they tell you that you can be a secondary version and you can start all over and all this other crap. The fact of the matter is that is baggage that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And the only reason that you feel like you have these issues mastered is because you're not in a relationship and you don't have anybody challenging you on them. It's easy to feel like you it's easy to feel like you have kicked your alcohol addiction when there's no alcohol around. It's easy to feel like you don't have a problem overeating when all you got is fruit and vegetables in the house. If you never around no cakes and pies, where's the challenge? It's easy for you to feel like you're a whole, complete, healed individual when you don't have someone else around pushing those buttons, challenging you in those areas. And you may be thinking like, well, how is me being married or in a relationship going to trigger my childhood, trauma and responses, or not even just childhood, but just stuff that you've encountered. Like, why would, this person do this? They would never treat me like that. And so here's what you don't realize, right? And my husband had to explain it to me that day. My husband had to explain it to me like this. A lot of times when things are happening, it can begin to look like something you've went through in the past. Like, even now, if me and my husband are talking back and forth and he seemed to get a little heated, once he get to like a certain level, I don't want to talk no more. I literally can't. Like, I can't. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We'll text about this because I can't. And it's not him. It's not that he did anything to me. It's not that he beat on me. It's not him. It's me. I've seen where this leads to before, and I don't want to go there again. So I'm just gonna leave. Okay. And so without me being in a relationship and ever having to deal with conflict with another person, I would think that don't bother me no more. I would think that I'm over it. But no, I'm not. Like I told y'all last week or a few weeks ago, I still find myself scared to ask questions. Why? I don't know. I don't know. But I would literally sit there all day pondering, should I ask him this? I don't want him to be mad. I don't know what he gonna say. I don't want him to yell at me. Should I just for no reason, y'all? It's not his fault. And so, but here's the thing: if I wasn't in a relationship, I wouldn't even know that this is a problem that I have. And so, yeah, while you're single, it may, be easy to disguise yourself as healed and whole. But all it takes is your person to come in and start pushing those buttons. And I guarantee you, your person is the best person to push those buttons. That's just how it works. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. So when we go live. If you like what I'm saying or you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. I thank you in advance if you've given already. If you've given already, and I thank you in advance if you will. I thank you if you've given already, and I thank you in advance if you will. Please excuse me. Oh Wow, I'm just really like this is like a triggering topic for me. Um, and because it just doesn't make any sense. We we're a generation of people that have all the information but don't use it. And what I mean by that is we have all the information on pedophiles, on sexual assault, on pervs. We have all the we got the sex offender registry. We got all this information and all these tools. But we put our children in dangers that our parents and our grandparents would have never put us in. I, like I can't imagine someone from my parents or my grand. I still remember going to church with my grandma. Okay, my nana. I remember going to church with her. She had on the white doily, the long white dress, and she carried a washboard and a spoon. Okay. And for those of y'all who don't know what the washboard and the spoon is about, them was the old instruments, the old drums. Like I don't know. I can't explain it to you if you wasn't there. But they would take that washboard and that spoon, and it would be the instrument while the choir was singing. It's just another instrument. I still remember this. So I don't understand. It's like with the fall of the church, it's like a net just opened and we black people are just scattering everywhere. And I know they weren't teaching us the truth at church. I'm not here to debate that. That's not what this is about. But we can't deny that when church membership was a thing, we were a lot more in order. Light Hebrew Magazine, shalom and shalom. When church going was the majority sentiment, certain things just didn't occur. I couldn't imagine any of the people that I grew up in church with letting their daughter slide down a pole. I can't see it. I can't see any of my peers that I went to church with letting their kids do this. And I'm aware that there was always a large number of black people who just never went to church. I get that, right? But even with that, we can't deny that we as a people have just gotten worse. Like we as a people have just gotten worse. We don't even care to front anymore. It's like the whole right, keep the chef. It's a very slippery slope. It's like with the whole issue with William Murphy playing secular music at the church. I remember a time when I would be riding to church. It could be Wednesday night service or whatever. I just got off work or whatever. I'm riding to church. I'm an adult in my own car, right? Listening to whatever, right? Jay-Z, whatever. As soon as I turn the corner to where the church is, I'm turning off the music. I'm not even playing secular music on the church grounds. So as soon as I turn the corner, I'm turning it off. Because God forbid one of the elders or the pastor hear me on church grounds listening to this filth. There was a time when you just didn't wear certain things to church. And here's what I saw happen. I saw the dresses getting shorter and shorter. And when the hoochies started coming to church, it was, oh, we have to let them come as they are. We have to accept them as they are. But the problem is we never require any change. So now instead of the hoochies coming into the church, the hoochies are the church. Why are the churches full of single mothers? There was a time when you could not be a single mother in church. You would hide that. Your parents would send you away, or you would go somewhere else. You would stop coming to church because you were ashamed. Now, y'all announcing it and having baby showers at the church. Getting the baby christened and just act like, no, I don't know where the sperm came from. The baby is just here. You want to have aunties and cousins and uncles and everybody but the baby's father. There's just bring back shame. Bring back shame. Not a large numbers of Negroes ain't go to church, just a tad bit. Like, bring back shame, for real. And here's what we don't realize. A lot of that, what we considered shame, was wisdom, was people who had already traveled down some roads we were headed down trying to stop us. I've had women who will stop talking to me because I'm not here to sugarcoat the truth. I feel like sugarcoating the truth is how we got in these situations that we're in right now. Lying to women is how we got in these lying to Black people is how we got in these situations we're in right now. So if you call me with a problem and ask me a question, bring back shame. Period. New hashtag, bring back shame. Because nobody cares anymore, and they dare you to say something to them. And here's what's so scary about it. No matter how ridiculous their stance, there's bound to be a large group of people who are going to agree with that mess. And a lot of reasons that people agree with other people's mess is because they're doing some mess themselves, and they feel like, well, if this person's crap is okay, then my crap is okay. This is how we entered this slippery slope that we see in our TV and our movies right now, because the heterosexuals want to be able to sin on screen. So why can't the homosexuals? We're living in a day and time where we literally cannot afford to be playing Fantasyland anymore. I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about the Golden Girls, and I was explaining, once they finish their egg laying cycle, that's it. It's time for them to be eaten. We're gonna, my husband gonna kill it, and we gonna cook it and eat it. And they was like, "What? You're gonna cook and eat a chicken? Why wouldn't I?" But then the conversation is, "Oh, so y'all are gonna be like preppers or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yes, but why are you saying this like it's a bad thing?" And then I asked them, I was like, "Don't you keep a whole lot of food in your house all the time? Like cupboards overflowing with food because you're scared of not having food?" Why is one version of prepping looked down upon? Why is one version of survivalism looked down upon? Why is us learning to survive outside of this capitalist system frowned upon? But if you decide, oh, I'm just going to go and buy a bunch of stuff, that's supposed to be okay. Why would you not prepare for what you know it's coming? You know it's coming. Almost every time I read the news, they're talking about blocking the waterways for shipping because of the war that's occurring. They just, the US and Britain started attacking new targets in Yemen. Now another country we're adding to this situation. So they got that whole area they're locked up, and they keep telling us this is affecting the waterways, this is going to affect shipping, this is affecting the waterways, this is going to affect shipping. I don't understand why we, not to mention every year, so for the last for the last few years, I can't put a number on it, but for the last few years, every winter, there's horrible accidents which affect the trucks traveling across the country bringing us food. Have we not been going through this the past few winters? Oh, it's a food shortage. People going into grocery stores, taking pictures of empty shelves. No bread, no milk, no vegetables, no fruit. What are we going to do? Oh my, they are not showing us this stuff for fun. If you look into the mindset of these people, they have to tell you what is going to happen so that you can't say you didn't know. Okay, believe it or not, thieves, murderers, liars, and scammers, they have their own set of rules that they play to, especially, you know what I'm saying, at this higher power. It's like they put it out there and it's up to you to be enlightened enough to receive it. It's kind of like how they do you in school. Like, okay, here's the information, and if you can't get it, then well, you're the dummy. That's how it is with them showing us all this stuff, all the subliminal messaging, all the predictive programming. It's like, well, we told y'all that this was about to happen, and now look at you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't come knocking on this door over here because we got a house full to feed, and I'm sorry, we gonna be like that white man on Leave the World Behind. Step back to your car and hold your hands up. I'm coming outside with I don't know how much longer y'all gonna keep taking what is going on in reality as a joke. It's like, I don't know if y'all feel like we gonna hopscotch to some parallel universe. Oh, I know what it is. You feel like Jesus is gonna return before you have to go through any troubles, so you'll be fine. And here's what I'm saying. Even if you thought that was true, wouldn't you still get prepared for whatever trouble you may have to endure? Like, I can't believe that still in 2024 there are people so brainwashed that refuse to see what is happening right in front of them and realizing that no man knows the time or the hour. We may very well come to a point where there's no food being shipped in, and it's you got to grow your own food or you're going to die. You got to have your own food or you're going to die. It could very well be that for a period of time before the chariots come and we're delivered. So what you gonna do in that meantime? We have more information than we ever have before, right? That's why we're called the information age. We have these little things in our pockets that can tell us whatever we want in the world. But it seems like the more information we have, the less we want to use it, the less we want to acknowledge it. There used to be the complaint of, oh, they make you work so that you don't have time to sit down and think. But now we have the ability to have information sent to us at any time. Y'all be at work on YouTube and everything else, listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks and everything else in the car and everywhere else. But you still refuse to acknowledge the information that's presented to you. Excuse me, you refuse to acknowledge the reality because you can choose what information you want presented to you. It's the reality that you guys don't want to acknowledge. Ecclesiastes 26:25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. I mean, that says it all. That says it all. And again, y'all forget a lot of us are dealing with daughters who don't have a father, with sons who don't have a father. Daddy ain't nowhere to be found, don't want to be bothered with them. Or if he do be bothered with them, it's shallow. It's for We've been so brainwashed into believing, oh, I don't need a man, that we forget that our children do. Our children do. And no matter how many generations we live through and how many times we keep seeing the effects of single parenthood, especially in the Black community, we still continue to encourage this behavior, right? Because you can go to any social media platform right now, and I guarantee you, you type up anything about you being a single mother and you struggling, and everybody's gonna come to your verbal aid and your verbal support and tell you it's okay, girl. You'll make da 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 da. Nobody's ever gonna sit down and tell you, well, baby, maybe you shouldn't have got yourself in that situation in the first place, and you wouldn't be feeling like this right now. Because if they told you that, then maybe you would stop and be like, you know what? I did do this to myself. I didn't have to get pregnant. I didn't have to be a single mother. I did this to myself. And y'all so desperate for love, desperate for like, because you don't let it get to love. Soon as that man act like he like you, there go your legs open and you on your back. A lot of y'all so desperate for like and desperate for attention that you're sacrificing yourself. You're bringing kids into the world off of a hope and a dream. Off of, I want this nigga to like me. You produce a whole nother life with this man. And no, you should not be having sex unless you are married. Okay. And here we go again with this. Now, let me just say this. I tried to give y'all some liberty and say whatever marriage looks like for you. And let me say, if you are in a polygynous situation right now, then that is what your marriage looks like for you. Okay. But I'm talking to these women who are still making decisions, right? I try to give y'all some liberty and say, you know, well, I suggest a marriage license, but blah, 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 blah. Get a marriage license, ma'am. Get a marriage license. Stop. There is no tribe, no community, no support structure. There is nothing to hold a man accountable for the commitment that he made to you without a marriage license. That is just the world that we live in. We do not live in our kingdom. Okay? We're not in Israel. We're not in the land of Judah. We are not in that time, in that space, in order for that to be a productive way to live your life. Okay? As a woman, hear what I'm saying. You go out here off a verbal, yes, we're married, and he decides one day he decides the next day he don't want to be bothered with you no more. Who gonna make him answer for it? If your daddy around, if your dad is around, and you call him and say, oh, dad, this is what this man did to me, then he had every right to tell you, well, you dummy, I told you not to. Okay? You have to do things. You just have to do things a certain way. And hear what I'm saying, okay? There's a reason for laws and rules and order and boundaries and all this stuff. And it's to keep things productive and in an upwardly mobile fashion, right? You're supposed to get married, have kids, and build something and leave an inheritance to your children, right? And then they're supposed to get married and have kids and build upon what you left for their kids and then their kids and then so on and so forth. Okay, this is how things are supposed to work. But because we have fallen so far from grace, and we've been given so many excuses like, oh, well, we just can't keep the law. We just can't do right. And, you know, your sexuality should not be stifled. You should be free to express yourself sexually however you want to. And all this liberation type movements that we've fallen victim to, what we find ourselves doing now is having kids and not leaving them nothing. And hopefully this kid is smart enough to go to college, but she probably won't. And she probably going to end up a single mother just like me. So she's not going to leave nothing to her kids and then her kids. And we just hoping somebody do something. And nope, but here we go. Another single mom. This is what we keep producing. And it just, it bothers me, and it's kind of appalling to me how we will sit back and watch this happen and never come to the conclusion that we need to change. Never come to the conclusion that we need to do more. It's always going to be someone else's fault. Well, if all these niggas wouldn't have got me pregnant, I wouldn't have had all them babies. No, ma'am, sis cousin, if you wouldn't have spread your legs. And let me say this, okay? I grew up hearing, if you're going to do wrong right. And I'm going to say that that is not the attitude that we need to have, okay? Hear me though. Hear me. And this is hard, okay? Because I want for all my sisters to be able to abstain until they get their husband, okay? Until your Boaz come, I want you to be able to say no and live your best life, all right? Some of y'all will not be honest enough with yourselves and say, I still struggle in this area. I still have a hard time saying no. I have a hard time keeping my legs closed. I'm struggling in this area, right? And instead of you realizing that you're struggling in this area and being proactive to protect yourselves from the things that happen when you struggle in this area. And I'm not just talking about pregnancy. I'm talking about STDs and stuff. You know, it's herpes that you can just catch from skin to skin contact. They got super gonorrhea out here that don't respond to the medication. Okay. So I'm not just talking about a baby. I'm talking about diseases and everything else. You know, you struggle in this area and you choose not to protect yourself. And then when you get yourself caught out there, you want to talk about, oh, what the Lord said, but you couldn't hear from the Lord enough to keep your legs closed. It's equivalent to a person going to rehab, getting clean off a heroin, and refusing to stay out of Skid Row, knowing that it's a struggle for them, right? Because they say an addiction is a disease that you're never cured from. You can just manage it, right? So you're never supposed to go to your trigger. You and your constant, I'm not going to say a constant, you and your struggle for sex is something that you're going through right now. If you cannot be smart enough to stay away from your trigger, and I'm not talking about you dummies that's going to call this man as soon as we get off this podcast or just texting him right now, talking about you up, come on through, the kids asleep. I'm not talking about you dummies. I'm talking about those of you who are really struggling, really laying before the Lord on this thing and really trying to live right. Okay? Like, at least be smart enough to protect yourself. At least be smart enough not to bring a child into this world behind your mess. As a happily married mother of 5, let me tell you that it is heartbreaking for me to have to talk to my girls about their past. About my past, let me say that, because it's not their past. They didn't have anything to do with this. They didn't ask to be born, okay? About my past. But the fact of the matter is that it affects them. And this is what I be telling y'all when you be talking about, oh, well, later on, I'll fix it. Later on this, later on that. Some stuff you can't fix later on. Some stuff only gets worse later on. some things you can not heal from. I talk to my daughters. They tell me areas where I let them down, where they felt like I wasn't there to support them enough. And I hear how they say, well, when I have my kids, I'm going to do this. And I encourage them in that. A lot of y'all are too ashamed to encourage your child to do what you didn't have enough strength to do. Okay. I tell my kids all the time, don't you ever be no single mother. Don't you, as of right now, all of my girls are still virgins. All 32 months old. And I commend them on that. And I'm honest with them about that. I'm honest with them about that. Like, I had to tell my oldest daughter, you know what? I don't understand your mindset because I didn't have that gift of holding on to myself for as long as she did. She's 22. But I have to tell her when I'm talking to her, like, I don't know what that mindset is. I don't know what you go through. I don't know your thought process. But when I have and I talk to her like I'm talking to y'all, like, listen, as long as you're telling me you're a virgin, that's what I'm saying too. All right. But if for whatever reason you make the choice, and this is what I used to tell them all the time. Before you decide to have sex, pick up the phone and call me. Not saying that I believed that they would, but I wanted them to understand that I want them to make a conscious decision to lay down and do this. And I want the same for y'all. I want y'all to start making conscious decisions before you do these things. Think this through. Is this good for me? Is this good for my children? Is this good for any future children? Is this something I'm going to want to have to explain to my children? Because as much as you feel like, oh, my past is my past and nobody's going to find out about it, I guarantee you that is not true. Okay. I have found out things about my mother that took my breath away. And it wasn't because she told me. Okay. So don't think the same thing can't happen to you. All right. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I know. I just kept going. I'm sorry, you guys. I was into it. I hope that something I said helped you.
Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, Mr. Game up now. Ain't
no, I thought I was
get the flame up. Used to be Toby, but got your name back. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser.
Okay. If it ain't for you, well, I hope something that I said will help you on today or tomorrow, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. If you like something I said or you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App, $, the House of Mono, while Atticus is drinking all my tea. Atticus, you gonna say shalom and shalom to the people? You gonna run down the business for him real quick?
Party, print shirt. The print boxers and the puppy, Mono, Westside Bully.
Very good. So we got a situation here, y'all. I was gonna tell y'all this earlier, but I got a few minutes so I can tell y'all now. So okay, we got a pocket named Shira, right? This is my baby. How long Shira been in the house? Shira been in the house for like a year and some change, I think.
No, for 100 years.
She ain't been in the house for no 100 years. So Shira's been our house dog for like a year and some change now, right? My oldest daughter is about to get her first apartment and she wants a dog, right? Shira is currently pregnant, and she will have pockets. Like, we made her with a pocket, so she'll have some really cute little pocket bullies. So my daughter's like, oh, okay, I'll take one of them, right? But on the other hand, it's kind of like it would kind of be easier for her to take Shira, since Shira's already house trained and, you know, just used to being in the house and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't want to give Shira away. I don't want to give Shira away, and Abby don't want to give Shira away either. So I don't know. We're seeing what we're gonna do. I'm trying to prepare my heart. What do you think we should do, Atticus? Should we give Bethy Shira, or should we keep Shira?
So here's give Shira to each one of them for 3 days, and then they have to return her. And so yeah, that's my plan.
Let Shira go live with Bethany for 3 days?
And Chloe.
No, Chloe don't want Shira. Bethany wants a puppy. So should we give her Shira, or should we give her one of Shira's new puppies? See? We love Shira. We don't want to let her go.
One of Shira's new puppies.
One of Shira's new puppies.
Because I love Shira so much.
I know we all love Shira. We all love Shira so much, but I can tell y'all right now, Monologue McGad does not care. He's like, get her out of here. We can get a better Shira. It's all about money. That's all it comes down to. It comes down to the money for that man. We love Shira though, so I don't know. We'll see. Oh wow! Right in my face. That is gross. I don't know where these boys get this from. I've never met such gassy individuals. I'm telling you, they can let it rip on command. All right, well, thank y'all so much for joining me this evening. Don't laugh at him, King Connect. I was not prepared for raising little boys. Let me tell you something. I was not.
Doing kind things.
So, all right, thank
Living
y'all for
super
hanging out with
clean.
us this evening. I
Daddy came
enjoyed
up.
hanging out with y'all.
Can't control us. One time for the men doing kind things.
Leave a
Dead friends to the T,
comment.
living super clean.
Send the
3
link.
times for my foes that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control
Shalom.
us.
Thank you for
1
joining
time
me,
for the
King
men doing
Connect,
kind things.
Angelina.
Dead friends to the T, living super clean.
Who else?
3
As
times for my
always,
foes that
Monologue
came up.
McGad,
4 times cause the man
Delta,
can't
thank
control
you for
us.
joining
Look at you,
me.
you done came
Christina
up.
Jones,
Get it how
thank
you
y'all
live,
for
Mr.
kicking it
Game
with
up
me
now.
tonight.
Ain't messing
I
with yoga, but
appreciate
get the
you
flame
for
up. Used to be Toby, but got your
and your
name back.
contribution to the
I
chat.
see
Let me
you
go put
paid
this
on the
child to
pressure.
bed.
25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or business you and do it to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Bump these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue McGod. Now also available on the Saya TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.
Let him save you in the end like a